post and basically told Roach. He tagged Lamar Roach and he said, look, you're not getting that fight with Tank.
Stop. So that lawnmower, that's it. Yeah. Stop that. Jake Paul might be too big for him, or Tank might crack him. You don't know.
Gervonta Davis's daily routine while preparing for Jake Paul is all about discipline and effort. Every session is centered on precision, strength, and speed. From tough conditioning to sparring, he keeps strict focus on his target. Each workout reflects his drive to show he's ready for the test ahead, leaving no space for distractions. Rolly Romero's remarks add balance to the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis matchup. He points out that Tank's reputation is secure no matter the result. As a world champion with major success already, Davis does not need Jake Paul to validate his career. Romero admits, though, that Jake's larger frame is a real factor. His natural size gives Paul a physical edge, but it does not erase the honors and respect Tank already holds.
Paul might be too big for him, but like Jake Paul might be too big for him, or Tank might crack him. You don't know. Like I said, like, or as an exhibition, we don't know if they throw at each other or not, or we don't know. I don't know. I can't give an opinion because I don't know what's going on.
Do you think it impacts, like, will it impact Tank's legacy if Jake Paul were, like, to beat him or even, like, knock him out?
Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion, 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him.
You know, some people trying to give, that's fair, some people trying to give Tank a hard time. They're saying, like, he should have took a fight with Lamar Roach or Shakur Stevenson. But when you think about it, do you think this is business and look, he's getting a bag, or is there some validity to people saying that he ducked Roach?
I mean, there's still other options, you know? It's like, bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them. It's the same way Roach feels Tank is the best option for him. Same way that Stevenson thinks Tank's the best option for him, or like all this stuff, right?
Paulie Malignaggi stresses the difference between knowledge and size. Though Jake Paul has gained fame and strength, Malignaggi believes experience tops raw power. Gervonta Davis has fought in huge arenas, headlined big nights, and battled top talent. No matter how large Jake may be, he cannot match Tank's years of skill, sharp thinking, and adaptability. Malignaggi insists that in boxing, ability and experience usually decide fights over size alone.
I think Davis is more to lose because he's the bona fide world champion. I don't care if he's much smaller. I think Jake Paul has sort of plateaued as far as where his boxing is concerned. It's rather low level. He's big, he's physical, he's strong, he can hit. So there is that risk. Davis, at lightweight, you're in a moment where it's too physical for you. You can clinch. Against the heavyweight, where you clinching? You ain't getting out of that corner just clinching anymore if you run out of space. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. But Davis, listen, there's a lot of talking points that I'm sure we'll get into when this gets closer to the fight. Davis can still punch at lightweight. Can he drop a heavyweight? There's a lot to gain there, right? If Davis knocks...
The answer is yes.
If Davis drops Jake on his ass, as much as Davis is the one with more to lose, it's still a highlight moment.
A visual that will stay forever.
Yeah. But if you get dropped, even if you're smaller, you're still a world champion in multiple weight classes. If you get dropped, what's the look? What's the feel? On the inside, as boxers, me and Chris Algieri, the champ, even you, Jimmy, you have fight experience, so we know that the risk is a big guy that big hits you. You're probably going down if you're a small guy if he hits you clean. So we know the risk, but how does it look to the public eye who don't understand that? You know what I mean? The public. So there is a lot to lose, though. There's a bit to gain. I wouldn't necessarily have an issue with this had Davis's career arc been one that benefited boxing. Davis was manufactured and put into a position where he's supposed to benefit boxing. And I don't think he has. I think he's hurt boxing. So by giving him this reward, that's my problem. Why are we watching this? Why don't you make him earn his spot that he still hasn't earned, mind you?
Teofimo Lopez views the clash more as a show than a sport. For him, it is less about history or rankings and more about money and spectacle. He admits both Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis will earn massive paychecks, which is important. Even without championship meaning, Lopez feels it helps boxing. By pulling in a wide audience, even exhibition-type matches can attract new fans and spread the sport further.
Really invested on it, and I'm actually very happy for Gervonta and Jake. I really am, man. It's good for the sport in some way, you know?
So a heavyweight versus a lightweight.
Yeah.
You got a fly hit me, yeah. A heavyweight versus a lightweight. How's this going to work?
Hey, they make it work. It's an exhibition for a reason. So, you know, they know what they're doing. And, you know, shout out to Netflix and shout out to both of them, honestly. Like I said, I think a lot of people in the boxing world are kind of upset. I could care less. I think they're going to go out there and make their money. It falls on the number 8 for a reason. They're going to make a lot of money.
Have you got a prediction for that fight?
My prediction, a show. A show.
Well, clearly it's a show, but
Yeah.
when you've got a lot of people underestimating Jake Paul once again, but when you've got a heavyweight boxer who knows how to throw punches and knows the basics
You might
against
see-
a lightweight,
You know what
it's
I'm
quite
thinking?
a difference. I mean, have you sparred heavyweights before?
Yeah.
For competitive sparring in the ring?
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same, not at all. Definitely got to move. I've actually played around a few times, went through between their legs
Oh,
just
right,
to
really?
duck around. But yeah, because they're taller, you know. But I think for that competition, that fight, it reminds me a lot like The Big Show, and Floyd Mayweather when they fought in WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And will that end the same way?
Possibly, maybe some brass knuckles in there too.
Can you see Jake Paul knocking out Gervonta Davis?
It's boxing, man. And if it's a show like this, anything goes, anything happens.
Nate Diaz, known for being direct, dismisses the fight entirely. To him, it carries no real competitive value. He argues that whoever wins, it adds nothing serious to either man's career. He calls it a staged event made only for entertainment, similar to wrestling shows. His blunt view cuts through the buzz, framing it as a circus act rather than a true contest.
I gotta ask you, Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. Does Davis have a chance?
Fuck no. Gervonta is a great boxer, but he ain't gonna be.
So you got Jake Paul by knockout, or
No, I don't got anybody, but I don't think
he's just too small?
it's just I don't want to beat up somebody that small. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
What do you think of the
I
fight?
want to lose to somebody that there's no point in the fight. It's a great fight, actually. You
think
not
it's a good
hating on the fight, but I think my thoughts on it is let's watch and see what happens.
Ryan Garcia said his boxing turning into WWE.
Yeah,
With that type of matchup, do you agree? Last thing, White House card, like he said, you want Conor McGregor?
yeah, but the whole thing's at WWE. So
Right.
like, at least that's happening and it's getting something to talk about, something to watch. And I'm looking forward to that fight, actually.
Jeff Mayweather shares Diaz's doubts with the same skepticism. He sees the fight as strange and questions the reason behind it. To him, matching a proven champion like Tank with a YouTuber turned boxer makes little sense. While he admits the money angle is real, he still labels it an odd and unnecessary event. His thoughts mirror the confusion traditional boxing fans feel toward crossover fights.
It's kind of weird because Jake Paul is extremely bigger than Tank, and I mean, but with it being exhibition, it makes sense. It's fine. He got a big name that he's going to be fighting, but I mean, it really makes no sense because he's going to be weighing over 200 and some pounds. Tank's going to probably be weighing maybe at the most 147, 150. So I don't even understand why the fight is happening.
KSI, with his own background in influencer boxing, sheds light on Jake Paul's promotion style. He claims talk of Jake fighting Anthony Joshua was never real. Instead, KSI says it was just hype meant to mislead fans. He believes the Tank fight is another part of Jake's plan to build excitement, not to chase true heavyweight battles. KSY's take highlights the flashy and often manipulative side of modern fight promotion.
I knew AJ and Jake was never going to happen.
I didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
You thought it was actually going to... Bro, it's so crazy. Like, I feel like so many people just believe everything.
But that's pretty unbelievable on the other hand.
I feel like I know... Well, okay, how do I say it like this? Atoma versus White. I had a lot of people bet on White winning. And I'm there like, you guys don't watch boxing, do you? You just look at a record and go, oh, Dylan's fought many more people than Itoma. That record says a lot. Itoma's like 18, not 18. Itoma's 20, inexperienced, one. Like, I just knew Itoma was going to just destroy him. And I think a good fight for Itoma would be him and Wilder. I think that'd be a very good fight.
BJ Flores, who has coached Jake Paul closely, offers a more supportive view. He sees Jake's long-term future at cruiserweight or heavyweight, where his size fits naturally. But he admits the Tank Davis fight opens doors. Sharing a ring with a champion boosts Jake's status even more. This creates chances for bigger fights in upper divisions. Flores believes Tank is simply a stepping stone in Jake's boxing path.
That's a funny story. So one of my good friends, Armani, he has been working with Jake Paul for the last 2 years.
Oh.
There was a little time where Shane wasn't there with Jake, and Armani called me up and said, "Hey, BJ, will you come down to Big Bear and spar with Jake?" And I'm like, "You want me to spar with Jake?" I'm thinking to myself, you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, he's beating up all his sparring partners. We come, I was like, all right. I mean, fine, I'll go down there and do it. I have been inactive. I haven't done anything for like 8 months, but I was like, okay, I'll go down there. So we spar a couple times. After that, they decided I was too big for him. And, it's better if we just, not do it. And, then they asked me if I would be interested in like working the mitts with him and helping him with the combinations. Cause I was hitting him with some combinations they hadn't seen before. And I said, we can teach him all those things and have him doing all those things. And so I started working the mitts with him and helping him out on the mitts. And he told his trainers and everybody, they're like, man, I want BJ around for the entire camp because I'm getting better. My job is like Shane does the advice in the corner and I do the mitts.
Veteran journalist Gareth A. Davies has blasted the fight, calling it a circus show that favors drama over real sport. He argues that while it may grab public attention, it weakens boxing's reputation as a serious contest. Davies says the clear size and weight gap takes away fairness, replacing it with a money-driven spectacle. He warns that if boxing keeps heading this way, purists may lose faith in its structure. Yet even he admits that despite disapproval, controversy fuels buzz, making fights like this powerful promotion tools.
I think we've gone out of the frying pan and into the fire because we thought we were going to get Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua very soon. We'll speak to Frank Smith about that in the next section, obviously. Eddie Hearn was teasing it to me personally last week, £80 million on the table for Anthony Joshua to fight Jake Paul. But 8 inches in height difference, 7 weight divisions between them, 5 stone, 70 pounds between them. It's a joke. It's a circus fight as opposed to a disgrace of a fight, which was Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. At least you feel in this, you've got quite a poor, very big one against a pound-for-pound, brilliant, unbeaten little un. And the little un who'll come up to his navel will hit him with a lot of body shots. I said in the week to Danny Kelly and Charlie Brooker that, do I mean Charlie Brooker? No, Baker. Charlie Baker. That Charlie Brooker's a different person altogether. That he'll be throwing the Superman punch, the leaping left hook. It's going to be a very odd thing. It's called, in inverted commas, an exhibition bout. But everybody in boxing who is a name doesn't mind going in with Jake Paul because they know they're making millions of dollars. And that's the only reason that Gervonta Davis, who's being called the poison little elf by Jake Paul, and it'll be fun in the build-up. Everybody in boxing knows they're guaranteed to make millions of those silverbacks, those greenback notes that they give out in America, and they give them out for fun when Jake Paul fights. So he's not going to say no to it. But can you pick a winner in that fight?
I don't want to.
Vargas Jr. sees it differently, focusing on surprise. He feels the unpredictability makes the fight exciting. Since the matchup was unexpected, it naturally creates curiosity. Fans love new twists, and Vargas Jr. notes this fight delivers that. Whether good or bad, he believes the shock factor alone makes it worth discussion.
The way we dress or, this generation, as far as like fighters, they relate to more who's more popular. That's why we're seeing the Jake Paul versus Gervonta fight, which is, that's crazy to me because we would never see that. And, back in my dad's day, but now we're getting this and it's just like, fuck it. I mean, people are going to see it, bro. So it is what it is, but whether people know him more or not, or me, it doesn't matter. I know that he's coming and he's coming game and he wants to make a statement as well. So we're just coming to interrupt those plans. You know, this is boxing, and you know, I'm so excited to demonstrate my skills. I could box, I could counterpunch, I could bang when I want to, and I'm gonna demonstrate that. I'm gonna do what I want to do in there. Come September 13th.
Yeah, you know, we spoke about this a little bit earlier. But it's a 10-round fight. You know, could be a different pace of a fight. But what do you think is like the key for you to get this win, regardless if it's a knockout or if it goes all 10 rounds?
I think just be smart. Be in there, be smart, be first, and do what I do. I think if I try to do a little too much, like my dad says, when you try doing too much, it looks you're trying too hard. So only thing I got to do is just come in the best shape possible. If it goes 10 rounds, then it goes 10 rounds. You know, we're doing 12 rounds of sparring. So if it needs to go to 10 rounds, we'll have the gas tank to go. You know, I don't know if he's gone a full 10 rounds. You know, I haven't. So it'll be something for fight day. You know, if we do end up going the distance, then we end up going the distance.
Wade Plem says Jake Paul has brought fresh life to boxing by drawing fans who once ignored it. He notes Jake's reach is especially strong among younger viewers who prefer entertainment-heavy fights. While old-school fans call them gimmicks, Wade thinks they're needed. He says this matchup with Gervonta Davis keeps that momentum by attracting the mainstream, even with debate. Expanding boxing's reach, he argues, matters more than strict authenticity. Analysts add that this fight benefits Jake most by linking him with a proven champion.
This man, that's the circus. If you want to join the circus, that's the circus. I don't see the value. I just see money in that, involved in that. If they want the money, if that's what they want to do, then go ahead and go ahead and get the money. But other than that, you got a guy, Jake Paul, that's what, 6'3", 6'4", almost. Then you got a guy, Gervonta Davis, that's like 5'5", a little guy. Yeah. Y'all gonna try to, who's 200 pounds, who's just for Mike Tyson there, I'm gonna throw him in there with a 135. It's just a circus. And that's what they want to do to get money, to generate money in the sport of boxing instead of Gervonta Davis. This is a legacy fight. He was supposed to fight Lamont Rope after this. And then he say, no. Think about it. You really can't say too much. When you say Gervonta Tank Davis and you say Lamont Rope,